It's starting, and I get to stop my bebopping. It's not really bebopping, but I get to stop whatever it was. Hi, folks. We're trying something today, which is I have my air conditioning back on. It's starting to get warm in here, which means that I have my microphone doing some sound noise reduction stuff because you'll hear it. If I do, well, you might hear it. I hear it. If I do this and I change the well, it's just the buttons just aren't working. Well, never mind. If I leave it on the normal setting, there's it sort of filters out the noise, but you can hear it when I talk. So I have it on this thing that does more, but there's a bit of delay. So talking with a slight delay, feeding back in your ears is a thing. And I haven't done it for a while because my air conditioning hasn't been on because it's not been very warm in this garage. But here we go. So bear with me. It might get a little weird with me sort of talking like this a bunch and trying to get back into the rhythm. Basically, to deal with this, fun fact, what you got to do, at least what I do, is you prep what you're going to say beforehand, and then you just put it out in like a sentence or two, regather your thoughts, do it again. So everything I'm saying, I'm not saying it's planned down, but it helps to have something prepared in like a sentence or two sentences. And then that way the delay doesn't really do all that much. But it will be affecting me. Hopefully it's not super noticeable. I will know. You'll probably pick up on a little bit of it. Nick Folk, NCC 1701, Delta lives again. I'll take your word for it. Thanks so much for being a member for 12 months. That's too long. That's too long. Get out of here. I'm kidding. Don't. Yeah, don't. It's the right. Okay, we got it. Hitchbot says, wait, you spent so long complaining about how hot it was that you need an AC, but now it's too cold. No. How did it's not too cold, it just makes noise, you see. It just makes noise. So I have a thing that filters the noise out of the microphone so that you don't have to hear it, and I don't have to hear it, because really I care more about it than I think a lot of you do. But there's just a slight delay. So we're going to try to ignore that. My brain's going to try to ignore it. Blue's gonna VR tonight. I most certainly wasn't, because my VR hands still don't work. It's fine. You know how it is. So hi everyone, how's it going? Today is a Mother's Day stream. There was a suggestion that I do some stuff that might be in some way related to Mother's Day, and I was like, what, like Child Protective Services? And I think the answer was not a specific no, but more of a, hey, let's tone it down a bit, which I was very excited about it, because I'm not really feeling like dealing with the CPS related stuff. That's never fun for anybody. Certainly not the people in the video. And then they very much voiced that displeasure in a way that I just don't really want to deal with today. Other crimes, sure, but that because children are involved in just the emotional. If you don't, I'm not going to explain more. If you know, you know. If you don't, I'm so sorry that doesn't make sense. Maybe the chat will be able to explain it to you. Lori Marie, thank you so much. Oh man, I feel like I haven't had a super sticker in a while. That's fantastic. I'll dance along with it. Anyway, so what we have today is a couple videos that were shared with me. One is Karen Mom invades daughter's roommate's bedroom uninvited, from Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. It's 4.5 minutes. Seems kind of exciting. There was one that was shared, which was looks very interesting. Kind of long, I think, unless it's its own separate topic. I might want to get back into it. Let me pull up what exactly that was. You might be able to hear actually there's like a slight ringing when I speak. Kind of hear a little bit of noise in the back when I don't. When I speak, there's like a pitch. I don't know if anyone would pick it up on it. It's a thing. The 80-year-old who refused to comply during the DUI arrest. That is I don't want to say fun, but I did watch that one on Artie's channel, I think. Was it Artie's channel? Somebody's channel. Which was the long one, other than the 2.5 hour just police chase. We'll see if we can get to that and get through any of it. What one was it? Don't mind me. Oh, there's a shoot. Oh, here it is. How a mother faked her daughter's kidnapping for money. It's Beyond Evil podcast, which definitely would be fun to go over. Maybe I say fun in a general sense. Like, interesting. But I think it's British. And as interesting as it would be to go over it, I am not nearly the expert in British law that I am in American law. I am barely an expert in American law. I actually am considered a subject matter expert, or I used to be. But, oh, that will bring me to my next point. All right, first of all, disclaimers, because I was just like, heck, let's just start talking. First 10 minutes, we're already 5 minutes in, sorry about this. First 10 minutes is me rambling, letting people get settled. If you want to donate, it is an option. I don't monetize these streams because who knows what's going to happen. So it's a great way of supporting the stream, or the channel in general, but you do not have to do it. Please don't if you don't want to. Please don't if you want to but can't support it financially. If it's not a good decision, don't do it. It's only if you really, really want to. You can also support the channel by hitting the like button, which is free, or, say nice things to me. I like seeing nice things because I get a lot of not nice things that I deal with. And so it's just nice to have an offset, just a nice little bounce. No apple juice today, probably, almost certainly. But if you're feeling incredibly generous, too generous, in fact, if you donate above or at $20 American, and I believe below 50, 50 is its own thing, which is not as fun as the 20, weirdly. I have the tram truth. I'm not going to show it to you. Some of you already know. Many of you already know. But if you are feeling that generous and you want to ask a question in your tip note between $20 and $50, again, that's a lot of money. I do not expect it. You may ask a question. The Tram Truth will provide an answer. It might not be the right answer, but an answer will be provided. Now you know. So, we still have a few minutes left before we really get into it. Where am I? What am I? Oh, yes. Was it last stream or 2 streams ago? Someone was like, hey, why is Sean something or other blocked? I was like, I don't know why. Let me unblock him. We found out why he was blocked. He's still unblocked. But it was after my information was doxed and, I said certain things with the intent of protecting my family from Chile, which I still believe is the right move because of the threatening message that I was sent and the fact that he did, in fact, communicate with my family, or at least one family member, and with multiple employers. So I wanted to buy myself time. I was going to retract the statements I'd made and correct them the following day, but then the threatening messages were sent by Mr. Castro, and I decided to wait until after I'd filed a protection order. I believe someone has reminded me, and I don't remember if this is true, but I believe that Sean had some very strong opinions about it that I just didn't care to hear from it at the time. And I believe during that time, and usually I give warnings. I'll give, strike 1, strike 2, like this is not appropriate on this channel. I like to give warnings. Because he had been a presence, and I was like, I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt and let you pull away. I was watching RD's Corporate Restrictions theme. What am I stream? Sorry, RD's Corporate. It's the delay. It probably wasn't. RD's Corporate Fictions stream. That's the one today. RD's Corporate Fiction. If you haven't seen his channel, he's a lot of fun. And there was some guy in court, and I was only half paying attention. I was making food at the time. And he's like, I'm military and something, and I'm pretty sure he wasn't. But he said Admiralty law was applicable. And I believe Sean in the comments or the live chat said Admiralty law doesn't apply to military. And I've never actually seen Admiralty law apply to military, but I assume it could be. I never really dealt with Admiralty law. It's sort of laws regarding to open bodies of water, to include, I think, rivers and lakes that are big enough to be used or are being used for shipping purposes, generally interstate shipping. I believe. Do not quote me on that. I don't know much about Admiralty law, what actually does exist, or maritime law, all of that stuff. But I said, presumably you could actually apply it to the military because of the Assimilative Crimes Act. So the military, members of the military are subject to the Uniform Code of Military Justice, UCMJ. But that doesn't mean they aren't subject to state and federal law. It's just that they are responsible for not violating a new set of law in addition to the other ones. So if they also violate Admiralty law, then just the fact that they are soldiers or airmen or whatever shouldn't stop prosecution against them or the possibility of prosecution against them. And Sean decided to challenge me on that and say, the UCMJ bro. I don't remember if he said it like that. I feel like it was that emotionally. It was like, oh, weren't you a soldier? I'm like, yeah, I was a criminal investigator of the Army. That's why I know that the assimilated crimes thing is a thing, and that soldiers can be, or military members can be charged with state and federal crimes as well as UCMJ. He didn't like that answer and decided to suggest that because I was saying these things, my credibility was slipping, and I just said, I'm confident in what I've said and the accuracy of it. I don't believe that providing factual information is an indicator that I lack credibility. And then he provided my name and said, this isn't you? Like, what? First of all, come on, guy. This is probably why I blocked you. Second, why is that relevant? If you think I lack credibility because of something that happened, and you think I lack credibility because you believe the statement I'm making is false, and those two things are two separate things, I don't understand how they affect each other. And so he continued to challenge me, and I just went on Google and said, is this a thing? Can soldiers be charged, or the military be charged with state and federal crimes? And you wouldn't believe this, but the resounding answer is yes. Yes, they can. Military.com, getlaw.com. I didn't get to any others because Artie was like, girls, stop it. He didn't say that, but it was that. And so it ended. So, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to say to you, as I wait until we hit the 10-minute mark, which we have, members of the military service members can be charged under the UCMJ, state, and federal law. That includes municipal ordinances, etc. In fact, if you commit a crime, if I went off base, if I was a soldier, I went off base, and I got a DUI, not only could I be charged with that DUI by the state, the military could then charge me for an applicable situation, law, statute, etc., under the Uniform Code of Military Justice. It applies. So, that's the thing. Hope we are now tracking. Anyway. Would it part of the Navy? I feel like there are situations where it could. I have not looked into it. I was just sort of like, well, technically, I imagine you could find a situation where it would apply. And then it was like, no. Miss Mandy was there. She knows. Oh, no, JASA, uwu. Does that cover the payment I owe you? The uwu? They're very expensive uwus. Miss Manny says he's 100% telling the truth. I will say I probably didn't get it. I appreciate the 100%. I think it was not 100%. But for the purposes of accurately conveying what I experienced, it feels right to me. HBot, thank you so much. Says Google's great. Dr. Google, on the other hand, not so much. Pretty much any symptom leads to a terminal condition or two. Oh, yeah. Well, there's so many conditions that have, similar thing of things. But Griff Kai says, vet from Air Force. Yep, know this. There's always the catch-all conduct unbecoming. Oh, yes. What is that? 134, conduct unbecoming of soldier or non-commissioned officer or officer. There are a variety of ones. Or there's also 92, failure to obey an order or a... technically, it's more complicated than that. It gets thrown around a lot. But yeah, conduct unbecoming. Absolutely. Covers 1/3. I'll give you more later. Get 10%. Could gone longer. All right. Oh, my board isn't working for the voices. All right. Dr. Nimron says, I can attest to what you say. I spent a lot of time learning to ensure all orders I received were lawful and unsure, get it in writing with signature. Yes, signatures. Writing. So National Guard. Sorry, I like to flip this. Certainly in the band, it's pretty relaxed compared to active duty military police as far as customs courtesies, like super relaxed. And our commander doesn't really like being saluted. It's just like, why? Don't. Just don't call the room to attention. I stopped calling the room to attention, which I Their reactions, I loved it. Like, it's the right thing. I don't know what to tell you. But I still, if he's outside and I'm outside, I will walk up to him to salute him. Because it's so entertaining. And he'll tell me, like, you got to stop that. And I go, then I'll need a memorandum so that I can keep it on my person so that if some general is walking by and says, why don't you salute that officer? And, like, I don't know, you're doing warrant officer things. You wander away to get a coffee, and I'm stuck here with this, 2-star. And I have to explain it. They're not going to believe that you told me not to salute them. They actually might, but for the sake of argument. So if you put on a memorandum, I'll be happy to stop saluting you. And you know what? Haven't gotten that memorandum yet. So anyway, let's get into a video. Wait, no, before we do. Aaron Hamilton, thanks so much. As someone who works at the VA, it all adds up. I appreciate the positive shenanigans directed at what I'm saying. I feel good about it. Not that, like, I'm saying, yes, lie to me so I feel good about it. But it is nice to hear concurring opinions. Okay, it's just a ramble now. We're not even getting to the videos. That's not true. I did a bunch of military training over the last 3 days, which was pretty cool. Command post training. And I, for a bit of it, got to sit next to a guy who worked in JAG, which is Judge Advocate Group, or something. I don't know. They're the military lawyers. Judge Advocate. Is it group? I'm Googling it. Oh, stop it. You, come on. Oh, it's Judge Advocate General. Okay, or generals. My bad. I got the first two right. And I was like, hey, sir, he was a major. Like, sir, while we have this downtime, because we were talking about some stuff, like, have you ever heard of 18 U.S.C. 795? And we had a very fun conversation about it, because he hadn't. He's like, I've never dealt with that before. And so we were just doing the back and forth, like, well, would this apply? But this would apply. Counter with, no, because this is the situation. I'm like, because I haven't talked to Jag about it in a few years. And so I was like, has anything changed? And it's basically the same arguments. And, I mean, it was a lot of fun hashing it out again. But anyway, let's get into the video. You know how I get. It's going to be a 4.5-minute video. I'm going to be starting and stopping a lot for educational purposes. Don't at me.
Is that a threat?
Oh, there we go.
Psycho. You are psycho, and you need a psychiatrist in medicine.
Are you kidding me?
You are psycho. She left the door open accidentally, and even if she didn't, did anything happen?
Yeah, her cat.
My
cat was out.
Hold on. So the video title is Karen Mom Invades Daughter's Roommate's Bedroom Uninvited. So I'm guessing they don't live with the mom. Presumably, this is a rented room, and the mom was visiting the daughter and decides to enter the room. That's my theory here.
You need a psychiatrist in medicine.
Are you kidding me?
You are psycho. She left the door open accidentally, and even if she didn't, did anything happen?
Yeah, her
So it says our roommate has stole from us, threatened us, and left our front door open. Okay, I can actually relate to that, because I've had a roommate before who has done questionable things. And I'm going to tell you right now the answer, if you are in a position to do this as someone who's renting. Cameras are useful. I have one inside my house as part of my plan to observe everything. No, so I have outdoor cameras. I have at least one indoor camera. I almost gave you the exact number. I don't want to do that. It's 15. No, I have one, and then a bunch of other things. Don't test it. Anyway, sorry. If you are, let's say this is subletting, and let's assume it's legal. If you are the person with the contract with the homeowner, then you would be the one to determine if that was appropriate in common areas, or you could set it up in your own personal area, for example, your bedroom, as long as if it was filming out the door, it wasn't picking up anything. It gets weird with privacy stuff. You'll probably find, don't take my advice on this one. without checking with your local whatever. But cameras in the home can definitely be a thing. I mean, it's useful. It's useful. It can be a problem if they're like nanny cams and are not known to be present by all people who actually reside in the house or are in the house in general. So having cameras in the house is actually very complicated legally. Don't just do it. Make sure you know what you're doing. Maybe ask an attorney. I'm not an attorney. It's not legal advice. I'm familiar with how to do it in my own personal home, in my own personal situation. But that's an option. Also, if you have Ring cameras, those might pick something up. Options. But it's not great. Sorry, I started on the path and went, oh no, I can't apply this to everything, because it does start to get weird legally as you branch out to different situations. So sorry, disregard that ramble. But is there a crime here yet? I don't think so.
Cat was out.
Okay, you
We
got
almost.
them out. Are they okay?
Oh, okay, wait. Misty Eye Girl says, I believe the situation at either a college suite or a house rental while in college. Got it. Okay. Okay, so it probably wouldn't be subletting at that point. It would be the property owner is renting rooms with a shared common space. Okay. You would not need necessarily permission to, and again, this is questionable, to have a recording device in your own room if you believed somebody was stealing. Whether or not it records audio, that could become a problem. But having it in a common area, you'd probably need permission from the landlord and all tenants, which if someone's stealing, you're probably not going to get. There are ways to do it. They get complicated. Without knowing more information, I'm hesitant to actually give advice on this. I have given advice. Story time. I was responding to an alleged break-in on Joint Base Lewis McChord. Mother had called 911 and said, I think someone broke my house. I was one of the responding officers, and her kids were in the house. She was in the house. Her husband was in the house. I went, so you thought someone broke in? You entered? She's like, well, yes. Okay. Well, did you? Okay. I didn't make it her fault, but I did ask, like, did you feel that it was safe to enter and why? Because that's relevant. I said, did you find anyone? Like, no. Did you find any evidence that anything had been taken or touched or altered or destroyed? No. Okay. What reason do you have to believe that your home was broken into? Well, the door was ajar when we got home. I went, okay. And the kids were like, nah. Just like, oh, pretty sure one of them left it. It like didn't close it all the way. And I asked him, like, are you sure that whoever left the house last made sure the door was shut? He said, yes, I'm sure that whoever did it did. Oh, okay, sure. Well, we'll take your report, and if you find anything that has gone missing or you have more information, please let us know. Because that kind of report, ladies and gentlemen, is going to get recorded. It's going to go nowhere because there's no evidence other than the door was ajar. And unfortunately, at that time, we were not doing fingerprints unless it was felony level, because USACIL, which is, they might have changed the name, actually. United States Army Criminal Investigation Lab? That feels right. Laboratory? Either way. They were a little swamped, and they did not want to process anything that was not felony level for, like, I don't know, fingerprints anyway. They didn't want to process any fingerprints that were not felony level. I did not get that information from USACIL. That was from my direct supervisor, who said, don't do fingerprints. They're not going to take it. Or the case can be closed before we get them back. It was about 6 months to get any information back from USACIL, any results, because they just did not process it quickly. So when I see shows where they're like, yes, we have a lab in our basement, we'll have the results in 5 minutes, I laugh. And there are some agencies that have something like that, but not most of them. Anyway, and so I was like, okay, ma'am. He's like, well, what should I do? What should I? I'm like, I can't give you any advice. I can tell you what I might do if I were in the situations. I might get a security camera. And security cameras at the time were not as cheap as they are now. I mean, they weren't bad. They have certainly decreased in price. There's some great options out there. And she's like, well, I don't know if I can afford that. And as a joke, and I don't say this as a joke. I say some very sassy things when I'm in like professional work mode, which I don't know if you guys have probably seen like once. When I'm in professional work mode, I still make jokes, but they're much less jokey, and they're said very, very sort of deadpan. It's a lot more stern. It's like, yes, I understand this is a serious matter. If you are worried about the cost of a security camera, I understand that there's some pretty cheap options for trail cams you can get for about $50. Anytime there's motion, it will take a picture, and that might be an option. You can mount it right on this wall. Now, that doesn't sound like a joke, but in my head, it was me going, come on. Your kid left the door open. And it was sort of like a remark to like just pacify so that we could leave and deal with the other crimes that were going down. She goes, oh my God, a trail cam. Oh, that's such a good idea. Thank you so much. I was just like, oh, it was a joke. It was a joke for me, not for you. It was for me. Got it. Anyway, that's the story. We've gotten 15 seconds of this video, and I'm already telling stories. You know how it is. But yes. Judy, thanks for being here. Good luck out there.
They okay?
What if they weren't? What if they weren't?
Are they okay?
You have
All
absolutely
these.
no right to be standing in my house.
No right to act like
You
a
actually,
child.
you're.
Okay. Does she have a right to be staying in the house? Yes, if she's a guest of the roommate. However, she's in that person's room, it looks like. That doesn't look like a shared space to me. It's a dresser. Maybe it is. I'm going to guess it's not a shared space. It is a personal space, a personal room of the individual who's filming. And in that case, yeah, the mother, it would appear, does not have the right to be in that room. However, as far as I know, nobody's asked her to leave yet. If someone is in a place you don't want them to be and you have control over that place, for example, this room, you have the authority to control who is in it or is not in it, with some exceptions, of course, landlords, but often they'll have to give you notice beforehand, etc. If you don't want her there, you have to tell her. Because if you just say that you have no right to be here, you're not saying she can't be here. What you're essentially establishing is she does not have the right to be there if you ask her to leave, which I don't believe has happened yet, although perhaps before the filming started, or maybe I missed it. So if you're in this situation, make sure you are very clear about that, especially if you're filming it. If you're filming it and you say, get out of my room right now, and you decide to press charges, that's going to be a lot stronger than, oh, I filmed her in my room. We were having a conversation. And then, the counter argument is, well, surely it would be difficult to have that conversation from outside of the room while you're in it. So it's only reasonable for them to step in. And you did not tell them not to. I'm just saying. I see that a lot with trespassing. So you generally, not always, depends on if there are fences or signs or whatever, but generally, they will have to know they are not supposed to be there. Unless they are committing a crime. Unless they entered to commit a crime. That's its own thing. Which may occur. I don't think it will. I don't know.
Oh my God.
You know what, though?
Is a grown man, is a grown woman talking to me right now like this?
Any common sense, you wouldn't
Her
be
daughter
friends
lied
with
to her, it says.
Jocelyn told me all she said about you weeks ago, the stuff she was going to do to you, to your room, get you thrown off the cheer squad.
I never did that.
You know why she has people in her life? Because she's a poster girl for Mean Girls. Only reason people in her life is because it's easier to be her fake friend.
Do you know what your daughter
than
did?
to be her enemy.
Do you know what your daughter did to us?
I never said she was innocent in anything.
Folks, don't have this conversation. Tell her to leave and then shut the door. Anyway.
I'm glad you know.
You're being
I'm glad you know.
ridiculous.
I'm being ridiculous for your daughter putting my safety at risk. Do you
Oh, Mav says guests only have access to common areas: kitchen, living room, dining room, laundry, spare bath, not private bedrooms. Is trespassing here in Georgia? But okay. See, yes, if she was not invited, one could argue that they were having a conversation, and then the mother of the roommate stepped forward to facilitate that conversation, to have that conversation more easily. And then she was not asked to not be stepping forward. I don't believe closing the distance to have a conversation that is not being yelled would be necessarily inappropriate. But if she was told not to be in the room, that would then become a problem. So, Veronica asks, why would the mom have a right to be in the roommate's room under any circumstance? For the purpose of conversation. Again, like, if the roommate was not there, no. Would be a problem. That would be, I presume, trespassing, yes. James. But, for a conversation, I mean, technically, maybe, I don't think a prosecutor's ever going to touch that. James says, Mav knows two things, the law and Four Loko. Unfortunately, I know a thing or two about Four Loko. I'm not happy that I do. So you can hear the pitch when yeah. Doesn't filter out all the noise, unfortunately. Anyway, let's
Do you
keep
know
going.
about the Idaho murders? Do you know college kids are getting murdered?
How close are they? Oh my God.
Your wife's crazy.
Oh, it's in relation to the door being left open. Wow, this mother's garbage.
Your mom's college
Hold on.
kids are getting murdered?
How close are they? Oh my God.
Your wife's
What is
crazy.
that? What kind
Your
of
mom's
response is
crazy.
that?
Oh, hell no. Get the out of my house.
And that, wait.
Get out. None of your names are on the lease. Get out of my room. I will call the police.
Now it's trespassing because she's been told to leave and she's making no effort to leave despite the roommate coming in to guide her out. It is clear that she is not welcome there and there is an effort being made to guide her to the exit. Now, obviously, I assume this is the roommate. And so the filmer is now like, no, the roommate's not allowed to be here. And so things have changed. Now it's a legal problem.
Get out of my room.
Stop.
You're embarrassing yourself.
Not leaving.
Your
Doing the
daughter
opposite.
sucks
That's a step forward. That's a step further into the room.
police.
An
Get
inch.
out of my room.
Stop.
You're embarrassing yourself. Your
Boom. It's an inch, but that's a step into the room. That's trespassing. That's a crime. That could lead to an arrest. Would it? I don't know. It feels like this is very harassing, what the mother is doing. And so if this was just like, oops, I'm sorry, I was just trying to have a nice conversation, I think a prosecutor might be like, okay, whatever, just don't do it again. You know, slap on the wrist. The manner in which the mother is speaking, though, it's definitely going to hurt her if it came down to it.
daughter sucks as a person.
Yeah, and the fact that dad's just letting it happen. Also, come on, guy. It's not because like you're a guy and you should control women or anything. No, you are a human being watching another human being do the wrong thing, and I presume you are married to her, and therefore there is some sort of shared responsibility. I would argue.
Put yourself all over town.
Trespassing.
hilarious.
You're friends with
This
her
is
She's trespassing.
person, and she always will be.
You wish,
You're
baby.
gonna get burned.
It was your daughter. It was your daughter that came in between her relationship.
Okay, here's the thing. Legally, it might not actually matter, but it might. If someone's leaving after you told them to leave, and then you keep engaging in the conversation, and you continue to try to engage them, and they turn back to have that conversation, that might not help you. Well, I mean, you essentially invited them, you encouraged them. You legally no, but a jury might not feel that way. If someone is trespassing, my recommendation is not to continue to call them out and make it clear that they're the bad person. Continuously give them the instruction to leave. If she is in that room still, go, you are trespassing in my room. You are not welcome in my room. Exit my room immediately. Leave my room now. Get out of my space. Say it in a bunch of different ways. Keep saying it. Make it very clear. But do not say, haha, now I can prove you're a bad person. What do you have to say about that? Or something similar. Because that has the potential of hurting you in court. Because now you're re-engaging them and giving them a reason to return. A legal reason? Maybe not. But things to think about.
Relationship in front of Belf.
Whoa.
Get out of my,
Oh,
Get out
wait.
of my room right now. Or I will call. Okay. I gotta call him. We also have all of the proof of
She's
your
still in the
daughter
room.
harassing us, and that she is
Still
done
in
to
the
us.
room.
I'm sorry that we finally fought your daughter back. It's really unfortunate that you raised such a. Now you're gonna get out of my room.
Go ahead.
Okay.
That and more to be about
things that anybody who would invade your space like that with the dad would step into your room, would violate your own personal space. There's a time and a place to treat with.
Then
who is
the
four brother?
Who is this guy?
No, I mean,
Well, that's just a new one on me. David, have you ever seen anything like this before, brother?
I don't know if he's an expert on this or I don't know. That was that. Who wants to read a thing from Reddit r/in-laws? I haven't read it, but it looked interesting? Question mark. We're gonna do a little light reading. We're gonna get some music going. Nope, that's not it. Where we go? Here we go. Yes. Archangel, thank you for being a member for 1 month. I was a member already. Appreciate it. I wish a Karen would. All right. Awful in-laws. My in-laws are a nightmare. My husband and I have been married a little over a year now. I have 3 kids from before I met him, and he has 4 from 2 previous marriages. The youngest 2 live with us because sadly, their mother passed away. So together we have 5 kids and another on the way. I know, full house. I've met his family before in brief little meetings and at our wedding, obviously. But last week we went down and spent the Thanksgiving weekend with them. And oh my God. Ironically, my eldest daughter decided to spend the holiday with her father and escape this horror show. Firstly, they're incredibly sexist, fundamentalist Christians. I can't even count the number of times they've said disgusting things about me or other women to our faces. They forced and or bullied all 3 of their daughters into getting married really young, like straight out of high school, to members of their church who are almost always older than them. Because God forbid they develop minds of their own and go to college. Now I'm no stranger to age gaps. My husband is almost 10 years older than me, but telling me the idea of parents basically arranging their 18-year-old daughter's marriage to a 26-year-old man isn't creepy and disgusting. Now we're going to pause right there. I'm not saying fundamentalist Christian is a bad thing. If you know that they're bad, have you considered not going? If they're sexist and say disgusting things, consider having a talk with your husband and saying, I'm not going to go back. That's probably a conversation worth having. Forced and or bullied all 3 of their daughters into getting married really young, like straight out of high school. Now, if their daughters were above the age of 18, it is the child's choice. I'm not saying I would want an arranged marriage, but I would need more information to really have a solid opinion. We're gonna keep going. Granted, this is mostly my father-in-law's doing, but my mother-in-law isn't any better. Not only does she hate me for being the 3rd wife, yeah, that would do it. She hates me because I'm a huge slut for having kids outside of marriage. So that's fun. Okay, breaking right there. Again, yeah, fundamentalist Christian probably wouldn't like the whole 3rd wife thing, but I feel like that's not your fault. That's the husband's fault. Like, sure. Okay. I presume the parents, the in-laws, are like, our son has gotten 2 divorces. That's bad because religion. Why is it the fault of the wife? Surely they'd be mad at the son. And if they don't get along with the son, why are any of you going to these things? Is this a one-time thing? Are you just reporting on like the one time you tried it? Or are they communicating with you a lot? Because it just feels like nobody likes each other. And therefore, why bother? We're going to keep going. Where was I? Here we go. Yep. I spoke one time the entirety of Thanksgiving dinner. It was mostly the men speaking because of course it was. And she completely ignored me, looked at my husband and told him he needed to learn how to keep me in line. I've never been more angry and braced in my life. Enraged, I think they mean. Okay, again, don't be there. I would have walked out, probably. Like, honestly. Just like, all right, see you at home. Bye. You know, and husband, you can choose. Me or your parents. I don't know. I mean, that's a pretty big thing. It's easy to put that on paper. It's easy to say that. To do it, that's different. But That I probably would have walked out. I may have sit there for a second and sat and just like, is this the right choice? I'm pretty sure I would have walked out. I'd been like, no. And I'm taking the turkey with me. Anyway, is that theft? Yeah, because you're intending to deprive other people of it. Anyway, don't do that. Where was I? And I haven't even mentioned the touching yet. Oh, excuse me? Both my brother-in-law and my father-in-law have grabbed my ass or simply slapped it as I walked past. Almost every time. Okay, we're stopping there. Wait. That's sexual assault or sexual battery, depending on the state. That is a crime. You can report that. And I would report that. Not okay. Men, not okay. Women, don't let men get away with, don't let anybody get away with it if you don't want it. You know what I'm saying? Oh boy. That. Everything else I'm like, oh yeah, no, they sound like terrible people, and I wouldn't want to, I also wouldn't want to interact with them, but yeah, you know, just don't go. This is actually a crime. So, my button. There's my button. Feet pedal. Foot pedals? Feet pedals is. Okay. No matter how many times I told them not to. Oh, well, they're okay. That's an additional problem. And my husband simply ignores it because, oh, baby, they're just like that. They do it to everyone. Yeah, okay. Husbands everywhere. No. They commit crimes against everybody? That's not okay. That is a crime. Do not. Don't excuse this behavior. Don't permit this behavior. Don't do it. No. And they do it to everyone. I've seen them do it to my husband's sisters multiple times. Even the teenage granddaughters and nieces. No. Okay. Sexual assault against a minor. That's different states award it differently. That's its own nightmare of a crime. Over the age of 18 is bad. Under the age of 18 is, good God, you're in a lot of trouble. You need to, and we have to remember this might just be an entirely made up story, but crime. Moving on. Let's see. So don't even get me started on how perverted and wrong that is. It took my brother-in-law actually sliding his hand way up my skirt to touch my underwear and me screaming for my husband to even say something to stop it. I can't believe this is true. No, come on. You're going to jail for that. Prison, maybe? Definitely jail. You're going to jail. I mean, if I got married to somebody and their relative slipped their hand down my pants and started smacking things around, I don't know. And the person I had married was like, nah, that's cool, man. That's just how it happens. I would consider a divorce. I'm not saying I'd go through with it, but it would be on the table. That's nuts. We're going to keep going. Thankfully, we don't see them often. You should see them never. But I think it's safe to say we'll be spending the holidays with my family from now on because there was no way in hell I'm letting my daughters anywhere near that horror show. Yes, good answer. There's an edit, apparently, in response to the comments. Because I know that I sound really cavalier about all of this, but honestly, it is so scary. Now, that is true. That is fair. It can be really I'm sitting here saying it, not experiencing it, saying you need to report this. It is not that easy. You know, mentally, emotionally, it's not that easy. But there shouldn't be, like, you shouldn't be deciding whether or not you should do it. You should know that you're going to have to do it and figure out how to be okay with it. But there's really no question on whether or not you should go through with this, I would argue. Because if it's happening to you, it's happening to other people. It's going to continue to happen to other people. What happens when it stops being just a, slap in the ass? It's a hand up the skirt. What happens when they are 14? They're scared to stop it. You have to report this. Moving on. We spent about 3 nights there, and I absolutely refuse to let our younger daughters sleep in the room with their other cousins. Good. I mean, they're sleeping in the bed with us. It's just terrifying to think I've married into a family I don't trust at all, and that I can't even be sure my husband will protect us from. He also takes his youngest two to his parents' house almost every other weekend to visit, and now that I know what they're like, I absolutely don't want them to be exposed to that type of behavior. They're little, but you all know how kids adopt the things they observe. I don't want them thinking that's okay. Yes, that... I mean, because what if they bring it back and start doing it to the other kids from the other marriage? And the comments are like, bruh, no, don't allow it. Which, yeah, correct. Good job, comments. Good job. Not a difficult decision. I mean, this is from 3 years ago, so I don't know what happened. But yeah. Let's watch DUI for mom after school drop off. Caught on body cam from Real Body Cams from 2 months ago. You guys want a nice video of a drunk mother? It's probably my last video of tonight. I gotta go do stuff. If we're feeling it, I'll let chat do its thing. So last summer, I would appreciate just one person to back me up. The gaslighting was crazy. People just didn't want the drama. I love the drama. A little too much, some people say. I understand where you're coming from, though. Some people just don't want to deal with it. Like, no, I have enough in my life. I want to hear your problems. No. Jessa says, and Ubu Jessa, that's the other third of that. So I feel like 2 times divorcee is kind of telling. You know that you mention it. Maybe that's related. But yes. Oh, and Shay, thank you so much. Let's add to the box thing tomorrow. Oh, exciting stuff. And Hitchbot, thank you, by the way. Hitchbot, thank you, says, Ring cameras catch lots, some funny, less so. Some funny, some less so. Yeah, there's some good Ring camera videos out there. And Aaron Hamilton, thank you so much, says, National Cemetery Administration and Veterans Benefit Administration experience personally. Thank you for your service. Oh, thank you for... being part of the Veterans Benefit Administration, National Cemetery Administration. And of course, James K with the classic, thank you, James, says, I typed symptoms to my computer and it said I may be experiencing connectivity problems. A good one. Yeah. Twitch. Yeah, I guess I kind of feel like she didn't really know the guy before they're married. Has some apple juice. Folks, I could be tempted. I could be tempted to flip for 1 apple juice. Just 1. Shay 2, thank you so much. I don't know how you do it. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Shay 2 is gifted 5 memberships to my channel, which maybe someday, and I say it every time, will actually have content for members. There is some old content. I'm so sorry. My life's nuts. One of these days. So, Danny, Jassa, Dark Messenger of Shadows. Ooh, Jassa's the other third. So it's been paid. And Miss Mandy, as well as Script Cat. You all have memberships now. Congratulations. Well done. Oh, my God. I want to get the habanero and handcuff challenge when I have milk. All right, well, that's a coin flip, I suppose. Is tails. You don't trust me. I mean, I could give you a tray of truth, Shay, if you wanted it. That's been paid for now. Tell you what I'll do. Dark Messenger Shadow. She probably wouldn't want me to. Here's what I'm going to do. I'll take a sip of something, but you won't get to see it. Whoa! Where are the lights? Oh, it's so dark in here. Ooh, spoopy. You hear that? All right, Shay. What question do you want to ask the train? And we're back. Drunk on duty officer wrecks police car, refuses tests. Oh. That's not good. I mean, refusing tests is probably the correct answer there. But good God, how are you? Yeah. Aaron. Aaron, that was just for okay. I wasn't trained truth though. Does Shay have trained? All right, I'll do it. His tails. Killing it today. Most embarrassing moment. Oh, my most embarrassing moment? Ooh, all of them? Every moment of my existence? Train, what do you think? Yeah, you're not sure either? Yeah. Train is fun. Yeah, it triggers after $20. It's pretty good. I don't know. Maybe the train wants something. Oh no. That time you signed your name on the paperwork in MEPS to join the Army. I don't agree with that at all, Train. You're an Army train. What are you talking about? Come on. You know that's not true. All right, train is reset. Sorry. All right. DUI for mom after school drop off. I may have seen this once from 2022. Let's do it.
In Lake County, Florida.
And we're gonna skip this.
How you doing? You all right?
Yeah.
What's going on with you? Prayer?
Yeah.
Nah, you sleep, homegirl.
Yeah, sleep in the car. It's pretty good tell. And she already sounds pretty out of it, which you would expect for someone who's just waking up. But I think she's just waking up now. As someone who went through basic training, I can tell you, I have used prayer as an excuse to fall asleep before. I was just never caught. When you're in basic training, you need a good nap. And it's Sunday. You're going to church because you're allowed to. Just find a pew in the back. Everyone knows it. You just, dear Lord who art in heaven. I don't know that I think I did it once. It wasn't really intentional. It just sort of happened, and I let it happen. I did go to some very fun religious services. I'm like, wow, heck, I can go to any of them. Never been to a Jewish service before, and I was like, I'm gonna go to that one. And they're like, cool. And I went, do you know where it is? And they went, no. Drill sergeant, do you know where the Jewish service is? We have one, right? I'm like, yeah. Where is it? I don't know. Anybody else know? Nobody here's Jewish? Sucks to be you, I guess. So I went to the Catholic one, which is pretty not the same. And I learned that I don't know how Catholic service works all that well. I thought I did. It's been a while. I was raised Methodist, more or less. I went, okay. You know how I like not saying words well. Like my stories. That's it. I went to a Buddhist service, and like they're doing it in a different language. They're doing, I don't know what it was. It was Umokwe Fighty Zao type stuff. You know what I'm talking about? Hey, your childhood was cool. Or your adulthood, whenever you found out that thing that I've just said. You start to tell that the delay is starting to get to me. Because I'm in story time. I don't know what I'm about to say, other than the truth. So they were doing it in whatever language it was in. And there was a projector and had the words. And the things people were saying were not the words that were written. So all these chants, I was just sitting there like it's cool to learn things, but like why have this up there if it's not what we're reading? Everyone else got it. Everyone else knew what was happening. You're not there unless you're Buddhist and have done this before, presumably, except for me. And I think one other guy. And we were just very confused the entire time. And I did not go back. So, Greek? I don't know. Looks black. I mean, it looks a little dark because of the lighting, and it's a little blurry. But it does have U.S. Army on it, which is one of the reasons why I bought that particular train, as opposed to any other train. This one was broken too. I had to repair it, but I did repair it. To be fair, Jewish and Catholic can get close, different language, lots of rituals. I mean, fair. I don't think they tend to really like each other too much. Burns says, went to sleep in my car, passenger seat, after drinking one night, pulled outside, knocked on my window, and asked me to open the hood. They checked to see if the engine was warm. It wasn't. I was off to sleep. Oh, that's interesting. Now, I mean, you could argue someone else was operating the vehicle and let you stay in the passenger seat. But yeah, no, Polizei have a lot of authority that United States officers do not have when it comes to that sort of thing. Or at least I never tested them on it, because what I had been told when I was stationed there was that if they wanted to beat me with their repeating batons, they're like rubber batons with a hard end, so when they hit you, it just boom. I heard it's real bad, and they could just do it. I was also told, I don't know if this is true, that if you refuse a blood test, they can just pick up some broken glass off the ground, cut you with it, and take a sample. I do not know if that's true. I hesitate to believe that it is, but I always operated under the assumption that it was. And yes, I did have to deal with them a couple times, not because I was doing anything wrong, but because I was driving an American car in Germany at 2 a.m. coming from a club. And was it because I was drinking at the club? No, it's because I was counting narcotics, and I would get money, your taxpayer money, to go, like $25, go to the club. I could get one beer at most for alcohol, just to look like I was there having a good time. And then I would just document if soldiers were going to this club, how many, and if there were things that were happening in that club they weren't supposed to be doing, to either blacklist the club, which we found out later once we found a place to blacklist. We didn't actually have a blacklist, or just see if we could actually catch any soldiers in the act. We had a big old binder of places within a travelable area from Carterbuck Airfield. And I never caught anybody at a club. Part of the problem was that the sort of high and tight style haircut was very popular with Germans at the time. This was very difficult telling which one was an American and which one's a German. Saw Germans doing some crazy stuff, never an American. There's a whole thing. Anyway, you're leaving a club, you're driving an American vehicle, and the police will just pull you right over. It's called the DWA, Driving While American. And they'd have me blow into the thing, and I'd be like, sure, yeah, cool. Zeros every time, and then we get very confused and go, okay. Now, there was a female Polizei in Ansbach. Very, very cute, so I didn't really mind too much. Nuremberg, though, less cute. Where's your registration? Where's your registration? Sir, I don't know. This is a government vehicle. I thought it would be in the glove box. I found out where it was later. I think it was up in the window shade. I'm like, I don't know where it is. Do you want me to call CID? Because that's who I operate under. Do you want me to call the American government to figure out where they put the thing in this car? And they got very flustered and let me go because they're like, this man's not drunk. I went, yeah. It was a thing. Anyway, Polizei. Moving on. You know how I love my stories. Ramble, ramble, ramble. You know I don't have a plan of the stream or prior to the stream when I'm just telling stories. So I'm like, I don't have an agenda today to get through certain videos.
You got kids?
James say who'd willingly get that cut? Do you mean the like broken glass? Oh, it doesn't matter if it's willing or not. That's the point. They're getting blood from you if they have to beat it out of you so they can take a sample. That's what I was told. Is it true? I like to believe it's not. And it's just a horror story told to soldiers to keep them in line. But on the other hand, hold on, people are saying things about Germany. I got it. Careful, Icarus.
Careful, Icarus. Yes.
Where Carterbach, middle of nowhere. It's not. It's sort of. It's in the. It's not really around anything. Oh no, Rotenburg. It's near 30 minutes from Rotenburg by train, I think. And Rotenburg's wonderful. 40 minutes by train from Nuremberg. 2 hours. 2 hours. 2.5. 3 if it's busy. By train. See, busy. That's not how that works. 2 to 3 hours to Munich, and it's close to a bunch of other really fun towns. I would love to go back to Germany and explore the stuff I didn't get to explore, because you're not really supposed to go too far away from the base in case you get called back. But oh, there's some good stuff. That was close enough. The Rhineland region. Yes, that's South Germany. I was in South Germany. South Germany? Yes. Nuremberg area. Nuremberg. Shenanigans abound, let me tell you. I love Nuremberg. It's not huge for like it's not like a big, it's not Munich. It's not Berlin, but it is just enough. It's just enough. It's just right. Good times. You, Burns said I work in Katterbach, Ansbach, Nuremberg, Zindorf. Have I been to Zindorf? I don't know that I have, but the other three, yes. Lisa, I know that you said, I know. All right, we're going to keep going.
Yeah, my God. Okay. Can you step out real quick?
And we're going to look for signs and symptoms. I'm assuming this is the person who called it in.
You all right?
She is using the door to balance. She's leaving the door open. That's a weird choice. Not looking good for her so far. A little bit of slurring. Doesn't really understand what's happening. Yeah, all of that. I would notate all of that.
Up here today?
My mommy has this car. I dropped off my daughter because she missed the bus. My mom and I and my daughter just moved out this way from Orlando.
I'm not saying you shouldn't live with your parents, but if you have kids and you're living with your parents, I just assume, and it might not be right for me to do so, but I just assume that there are some issues happening. And it might not be your issues. It might be, the father slept and I need whatever. Just a thing to keep in the back of the mind for investigative purposes.
This is my mom's car. I think she, I don't know if she got it registered yet or not, a couple days ago or not. I have no idea, but yeah, so my dad takes a bus, but I have to suffer.
Okay.
She missed.
Very slow movements, just very, just doing the thing. Now, sometimes when you have an intoxicated person, they'll do very fast movements because they want to prove that they're not moving like this. So generally it's one of two things. It's either these really slow, just like, oh man, this could be just she's tired. And it might not even be alcohol. It might be she's on a medication that makes her drowsy. It could be that. But intoxicated people, sometimes what you'll see is very quick motions. You're like, I'm not that. Look how quickly I'm getting to the thing. My hand's going over here. It did so quickly. Check that out. But we're not seeing that here.
What time you drop her off?
I dropped her off here right when they were about to, almost close to 8 o'clock, 8 o'clock.
8 o'clock?
Yeah.
And it's tempting. I know, so much stopping and starting. It's tempting to say, well, she's just tired. She was sleeping. But I don't know about you guys. If I fell asleep in my car and an officer woke me up and I stepped out of the car to have that conversation, I'd wake up pretty gosh darn quick. She is not. She just does not care.
It's an hour.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's an hour.
Okay.
Ryan says Xanax, that feels very doable, very possible. Very possible.
Someone texted me back, and so I was just resting there for a second.
Okay.
That's all. Someone came and checked up on me, and I was like, fine.
Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I'm just going home now. So.
10-4. So I have a lady up here, car turned on and everything, and she sleep at the wheel. So a parent came in and it's like, hey, somebody's sleeping in their car and the car's on. So I come out here, lady looks impaired. All right.
I thought she was going to start being like, I know she did say looks impaired, but I thought there would be more details. It's fine.
Need just extra eyes.
Okay.
All right. So because your car was on and you were asleep, I assume, I'm guessing that you might be a little impaired.
Oh my God, I swear to God.
Okay.
I swear to God.
All
I
right.
just literally woke up my daughter. I took her to the bus stop. She was like 3 minutes late. I talked to the other little girl's dad. And she's like, are you guys still doing trick-or-treating? And I'm like, yeah. And I said, did she miss the bus? I said, but I got to go. I'll talk to your wife later. So I went inside and I grabbed the keys and I told my mom, I was like, I had to take Bella to school because we literally just missed the bus. So
what do I do with my hands?
Just registered my daughter.
Okay.
And so when I used to,
I probably did the same thing.
So I drove her here, and we came, and I was gonna, like I said, my mom wakes up at 9. I wanted to stop by the store and stuff, so I was sitting there and I was waiting. I got off the phone call, And I was just resting there for a second. And someone came up and said, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine. I'm gonna leave here." And I was waiting for traffic to leave and stuff, and then I was gonna leave. But I was just resting and just off and on, just resting. Nothing's wrong with me. Swear to God, just woke up.
All right.
I'm like, how embarrassing. My daughter just started school and you guys think something's wrong. No, I swear, I promise.
Okay. I'm just going to make
Cross my
sure.
heart.
And I'll let you
Swear to
leave,
God.
okay? We have field sobriety exercises. So if you can pass those, I'll let you get back in your car and drive.
So I want to point something out. Field sobriety test, standard field sobriety test. I don't know of a single state which mandates them, or the PBT, the preliminary. No, I'm slurring. Preliminary breathalyzer test. That's the device you blow into on the side of the road. The intoxilizer is usually in the station or a substation, or if you have a DYDWI trailer, like a mobile trailer, you might have one there. It's a big old machine that tests, from what I understand, very, very accurately. Again, my understanding is that if you refuse the intoxilizer and the blood test, and they may give you the option to pick one or the other, I don't know. But if you refuse those tests at the station after an arrest, you lose your license for a year, even if you weren't intoxicated in any way. So what this officer has not done is establish that these tests are voluntary. I always like to make sure they knew. Like, I want you to, do you mind? Would you consent to? I think it's our phrasing exactly. And if they had questions about it, I would answer them. Like, well, it's not, you don't have to. But right now, if you don't, I can't let you back in that vehicle. If you pass them, I can let you back in that vehicle. Because I have more than 50%, 51% suspicion that you are intoxicated. It's a whole thing. It's a whole conversation. But this officer has said that if you pass, I'll let you go. Which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Drive away, okay?
Oh, Lord.
All right, would you cooperate with that?
Yeah, I will.
You will? Okay.
Can I take my shoes off?
Yeah, you
just because they're a little big.
Get comfortable, okay?
Oh my God, this is embarrassing. Don't ever think anything different.
All right.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9.
Whiskey says, believe in Michigan refusing PBT on the roadside is auto 1-year suspension. Well, if that is true, I must know. To correct myself, we're going to check that right now with some music. Oh. Well, that's commercial vehicle. That's interesting. Ladies and gentlemen, Michigan. PBT, the roadside test, preliminary breath test with the little handheld device, is not a criminal offense if you refuse to do it. Cannot be used against you in trial for the DUI if you refuse. It is a civil infraction. You can be fined for refusing. That's interesting. So you won't lose your license for a year if you refuse the PBT. Toxilizer might be a different story. I believe it is a different story. But yeah, it's a $150 ticket, up to $150 plus associated court costs if you refuse to submit to a preliminary breath test in Michigan. That's interesting. I did not know that. Huh. I hope I remember that one, because that's good to know. Oh, let's keep going. All right, she's walking the... Oh, no.
All right. Get comfortable, okay?
Oh my God, this is embarrassing.
All right, leaning against the car. No bueno.
Anything different.
All right.
5, 6,
Hand up.
7, 8, 9.
Hand up. Improper turn. Off the line. These are all things I'd be marking. It's not a single indicator that is like, you're drunk. It's not a single test that's you're drunk. It's the totality of the circumstances. It's if there are a lot, boom. And I know there are people, I've had this conversation before, that say, I would never pass those standard field sobriety tests. And unless, I'm not so sure because Michigan, but you don't have to do these. And when you start the SFSTs, the question that we were trained to ask, and I mean, we read it off the paper, so that was the exact same every single time. And then you can also mark the paper, so you have your notes, which is really, really great. You can look at it afterwards and go. One of the questions that is asked, at least I was trained to, do you have any impairments or disabilities, impairments other than like alcohol? Do you have any disabilities, injuries that might interfere with this test? Let them know. Because there are a lot of parts of the test. And so if it's like a balance issue, and you say, yeah, like I don't have a left leg. Anything that might be left leg related, it's probably not going to be used against you. But eye tests, the horizontal and vertical gaze nystagmus, which is a required part of the Stanford sobriety test that I was trained on, that's going to tell you a lot. And so your leg injury is not going to affect how much your eyeballs are bouncing around. It's a thing. It's a thing. Yeah. I mean, we're not seeing the full thing. Parts have been edited out. But, yeah, she does have, like, having an actual line, that's very useful. That's very nice. Off the line. 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 Arms do not remain down during all of those steps. I believe they're supposed to stay down. That right there is a fail of the entire test, which is not the only indicator that she's intoxicated. There are other tests that you also have to conduct. The SFSTs are only effective if you do all of the tests. Studies have shown. It's a whole thing. It's actually kind of interesting. But that test, huge fail. If you're in a wheelchair, if you're a wheelchair user who drives, making you walk a straight line could be interesting. They're not going to make you do that. If you have a vehicle that you can operate while in a wheelchair and all that, they're not going to do that. I would, if I had to deal with that, I would struggle. I would do some tests, and then I would call my supervisor and be like, I don't know what to do, because I can't have them do the full set. I'd probably try very hard to get them a ride home. Say, we'll try to make a few issues, but like, I can't let you back in that vehicle, and I am not trained to deal with this. So if I couldn't get someone who was trained to deal with that kind of situation, or who could walk me through it, because I don't know. I have been trained to do every single test unless it becomes unsafe to do so, et cetera, et cetera. Or it is clear that continuing the test would be unsafe for them because of their level of intoxication. The tests are not necessary. Here's what I would do if I had to make a choice. I would conduct the tests I could. I would put them on a report, and I would let the prosecution deal with it. And they might just not submit that as evidence. They might say, the tests that were conducted were failed. However, not all the tests were conducted because obviously you can't do the one-legged stand when a person doesn't have legs. However, the ones that were done in combination with the smell and the slurring and their behavior and et cetera is enough for probable cause. That's how it would probably happen. Roll a straight line, do a wheelie while you spin around and straight roll back. 9 spins. That's right. Wait. She doing it again? You're only supposed to go down and back. What test is this? She backwards? Hold on. I'm sorry. We're just going to start calling it out again. Off the line. Arms aren't down. She's going backwards for some reason. I don't think that's standard part of the test. In fact, I'm confident it's not. Failure to follow instructions at that point. I mean, they might be just letting her keep going. Continue to go. If that's the word I'm looking for. Words I'm looking for. Words are hard in general. Just to be like, it's evidence. I won't stop her. And she's on the line now. Her arms are still up though. And she's still off the line. Off. Oh my God, it's just getting worse.
It's hard when you say heel to toe. Like if I'm just walking like this.
All right, you can stop.
Yeah, it's also not heel to toe. I forgot the heel to toe part because we didn't hear the instructions. I was so distracted by all the other things. Miss Manny says, is there such thing as a breathalyzer that can detect narcotics? There are saliva strips that I'm aware of. I've never used them. We never had them, but I'm aware of their existence. I know there are blood draws that you can get medical personnel with the proper warrants or approval, etc. But as far as blowing into something, not to my knowledge. I'm going to Google it because now I'm curious. Breathalyzer for new breathalyzer can detect marijuana, cocaine, and heroin. Swedish designed device can detect 12 different controlled substances. But has it been approved by courts? The study published. It only works. It is a breath test. Able to correctly determine drug use in 87% of cases. Is that, says it's equally as accurate as blood and urine tests? Okay. That is fascinating stuff. Huh. I did not know about that. I knew about the saliva tests, but not an actually breath device. Oh, it's from April 25th of 2013. I thought it was 2023. So it's been around for a while. Nobody told me. I don't know. I mean, if it was around that long, I haven't heard about it. Presumably, it's not that good, or it's very expensive, or you needed to have it processed through the appropriate tests for court. I have one from North Point, Seattle. It says introducing the first ever breathalyzer test for drugs. So I don't know if that means they're using it in the area or it's just being written by. I don't know, but there is. The answer is yes, there is.
You good? All right, we got one more
She's still
exercise.
stumbling.
Okay,
She's still going.
one more exercise. Same stance.
Yeah, there's absolutely enough right now, ladies and gentlemen, that you've got intoxication. Even if it was like, oh, there's a balance issue. Failure to follow instructions is one of the biggest things that's going to get you. Because, yeah, some people have balance issues. But continuing to do the test and then backwards and then doing it and whatever, not following the instructions given, that's not a balance issue. It's one leg stand. You're supposed to keep your hands down, if I remember correctly, and your foot pointed. I've seen some states do it slightly differently, so that's why I'm like, oh, you're kind of supposed to. At least we were. Foot not pointed, arms not down.
1,000.
Foot touch.
2,000. 3,000.
That looks like another foot. Is her foot touching?
1,000.
No.
5,000. 6,000. 7,000. 8,000.
See, that's kind of what's. Oh.
10,000.
Off balance.
11,000.
Right hand's not down.
13,000.
All right, you can stop.
I was like touching. I can't. Real body cam is in the way. I can't see from the distance from my eyes to my monitor if her feet are touching.
All right. That is, I know. Those are my little tips.
Y'all going to jail.
Those are hard as
Right.
hell.
Okay.
I'm serious. I'm completely sober and I can't handle it.
All right.
I'm
so
totally
on
told
your
her. I couldn't do it.
exercises,
Ballerina.
on your exercise, you didn't do too well. So I know you ain't drunk.
Thanks.
You on something else.
Okay, starting to feel the Xanax thing. Yeah. Now, why is she saying, I know you're not drunk? Well, because maybe the gaze and stagma stuff didn't reveal alcohol. Usually horizontal is alcohol. Verticals can be marijuana or other narcotics. I'm presuming there's not a smell of alcohol. And so someone was saying in the chat, if you drank very heavily the night before and then it was still in your system afterwards, could be that, which I agree with. It absolutely could be. But the fact that she's not doing that, look at, I can do quick jerky movements and it's just doing it real slow. I'm feeling it's a pill-based narcotic.
No.
I mean, it could be drugs. I'm sorry, it could be alcohol. But I'm not disagreeing with this officer's assessment.
We're good.
Okay. Well,
We're good. I ain't on nothing else.
I'm
so
there
what's
on
gonna
nothing
happen?
else.
You got to take a trip to the jailhouse
What?
Oh my God.
because you didn't do too well. I cannot let you drive home. Well, whatever you want.
Breathalyzer, whatever you want.
Okay, they have the breathalyzer at jail. Okay, so you can blow there, but I don't think you're under the influence of alcohol though.
Oh my God! Please just call my mother to come with me. I swear.
You're an adult, lady.
Don't do this to me.
You're an adult.
I can't.
Take
I
responsibility.
Can't do this. I swear to God.
I don't know. You had it last night. You was partying too late or whatever.
Oh, she said it.
I don't party. Seriously, I don't.
All right.
I don't party at all. My daughter and me and my mother literally live together, and we just go home.
Right.
My daughter just started spending days.
I got you. I got
I
you.
mean, I could try it again. I'm telling you, I just have a bad.
It's all right. When you go to the jail,
you're not helping your case.
Ask them to help you out, okay? All right. So I'm gonna have you come back over here at your car. We'll call her. Go ahead and put your hands on your trunk again for me, on your top, on your hood.
The consequences of my actions.
Hands up there. And you put your hands behind your back.
There are children there, lady. Like, come on. And then she gets arrested. And I'm not upset with that.
0.00.
Breathalyzer was 0. I will provide a urine sample for testing. Do they do a blood test? Well, interesting. Well, that's all I had planned for today. Just a nice little chill stream. Do a little bit of Twitch. No, not doing VR chat tonight. I'm not going to be on for too long. Let me see what I've composed. Sorry. Don't worry about it. What do we have installed right now? Escape Simulator. Hold Fast, of course. Do we still have some War Thunder? I haven't played War Thunder in a good long time. Update queued still? Did it not? It's just updating constantly. Elden Ring, no. I don't know an Elden Ring. GTA 5. I mean, I technically could. It was kind of boring last time. We didn't get to really interact with anybody. Just eyeball in the chat. Don't mind me. Artie's on live. Is he still live? Heck yeah. Maybe I'll just not do Twitch and go harass him. Politely, as a friend. Regardless of how he feels about it. Whatever I choose. Play with Artie, you say. What is Artie? Is Artie playing video games? Artie's corporate fiction. Boop, 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 boop. I see that he did a stream an hour ago. Or are you saying I should stream with him? Did I just misread it entirely? I kind of want to throw down some War Thunder. Advanced Squad Leader. No, I don't believe so. But I'm going to go to Twitch briefly. It's going to be a quick little thing. Twitch.tv/Sergeant Blue Bacon, SGT BLUEBACON, just my YouTube name without spaces, with SGT before it. SGT BLUEBACON. Oh, he's on his gaming channel. What is he playing? Chat, what is he playing? What's going on? All right. What is his gaming channel? I know his gaming channel. Hold on. Or do I? I do. I know that I do. Keep talking, nobody explodes. Oh, I haven't worked that one out yet. Did I buy that one? No. I did buy a game that I want to play with some of the guys called, what was it? Perfect Heist 2. I know what it is. Oh, he's playing Jedi Survivor. Well, I don't own Jedi Survivor or Ghost of Tsushima. So I'm going to launch War Thunder. And I'll be over on my Twitch channel. Y'all feel free to join me if you want. And ladies and gentlemen, until next time, be good, stay safe.